I stopped drinking and it changed my life, but not for the reasons that you think. I was your classic kid growing up. I started drinking around the age of 14 to 15, binge drinking with my friends, getting absolutely wasted, and that continued well into my uni years when I did many other activities that I probably shouldn't have done, looking back on it now. And of course, I started drinking when I landed my first corporate job at the New York Stock Exchange, working in corporate sales. Now, if you guys have ever watched Wolf of Wall Street, you know what it's like working in finance. And yes, you guessed it, I continued drinking. If anything, I was drinking even more than I used to when I was at university. And fast forward the years, my body just could not keep up with it. I felt like shit, I looked like shit, and I actually started to hate the way that I looked in the mirror. I was binge drinking so much that I ended up having gastroenteritis, which is when your intestines essentially swell up and are so inflamed that they just can't hold anything in and you just end up throwing out for hours and hours. Now, of course, that was one of the main reasons why I decided I wanted to quit. But if I had to really boil it down, the way I was able to quit was because I was able to replace drinking with something that had a greater purpose and a greater meaning in my life. Now, I started training around the age of 24, 25, having never trained in my life before. I grew up, along with the drinking, playing video games as that scrawny little kid. And I finally decided at the age of 24, 25 that I wanted to take my life in my own hands and finally put on some muscle and not look like Skin Diana Bones. For the first year or two, progress was somewhat decent, but I wasn't that happy with it. And luckily for me, I had a few other friends who were on a similar calisthenics journey to me, who either cut down drinking completely or seriously reduced their consumption of alcohol. And what ended up happening was that every Monday, they felt fresh. I had spent the last Thursday to Saturday going out drinking, essentially hitting resets from all the hard work that I had done up until that point, and it meant that my sessions on Monday were shit. My progress was a lot slower than theirs, and fast forward a year later, they were leaps and bounds ahead of me in strength, in physique, in discipline, in self-respect. This is what happens when you go out binge drinking. Even if it's just once a week on a Friday, you hit reset on everything that you have done for that week. All the discipline you've built, all those workouts you've built, your nutrition and eating clean, you've essentially erased that. Now you might say, I can get away with drinking once a week. You can if you're 18. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you are over the age of 25. You may be in your 30s and 40s. Do not sit there and lie to me and tell me that your body can handle getting absolutely wasted, even if it's just one day a week. So you go out with your friends, your work colleagues, you get pissed on a Friday, you wake up feeling like shit on a Saturday. Not only that, you're getting a short amount of sleep. And we know that sleep is basically the best drug on the planet if you want to recover, if you want to be mentally astute, if you want to be there for your family, if you want to progress in your career, whatever it is, you need sleep. So you're fucking up your sleep on that Saturday morning. You may even go out drinking again on a Saturday. So you're literally doubling up all this bad stuff that's happening to you. You're wrecking your body. Alcohol is poison. And come Monday, it's Groundhog Day. You're having to restart everything that you've done before. Do you realize how stupid this is? Imagine if when you were back at school trying to revise for an exam, you've got your final uni exam that you've prepared for so hard. Imagine you've revised Monday to Friday, 10 hours a day. And imagine if every Friday you ran into a wall, hit your head against it as hard as possible, and gave yourself a concussion. Then come that next Monday, you've pretty much forgotten everything that you did the week before. That's exactly what's happening when you're going out and binge drinking so much. You're just hitting reset. Do you honestly think that this is a way to live your life? Living your life for the weekend? Now, yes, of course, drinking is fun. It's nice to relax. But tell yourself honestly, do you need to be going out 4 or 5 times a week? Perhaps you're going out on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday. You don't need it. The best thing you can do is try to cut it down. Go from 4 days to 2 days, 2 days to 1 day. If you're drinking 1 day a week, reduce the amount of beers you're having. If you normally have 10, have 8. Go from 8 down to 5. If you're drinking beer, which is high in calorie and it's fucking up your diet, switch to spirits. There's always a solution. Now, you can either look at this two ways. You can either keep trying to find excuses as to why you can get away with drinking once a week and it's not affecting you that much, or you can try and find excuses to improve. Cutting down the drinking, going to bed earlier, prioritizing good nutrition the morning after, hydration on your nights out. These are all things that you can do that will get you towards a point where you're either not drinking at all or you've seriously cut down on your drinking. Now, the title of this video was I Quit Drinking and It Changed My Life Forever, but not in the way that you think. Now, I want to address this. The biggest benefit that I personally saw when I cut drinking out of my life completely was the fact that I was no longer hanging around people that didn't want the best for me. I realized after months of no drinking, all these people who I thought were close friends, they were just drinking buddies. And not only that, they did not want the best for me. They were in a negative down spiral and misery loves company. If I was to tell them back then, hey, XYZ, I'm looking to cut down on drinking. I don't think it's a good idea to go out on a Wednesday. Let's limit it to one day. Let's go to bed early. You know what? I actually really want to focus on my calisthenics. They would have laughed in my face and called me a pussy or whatever. This is just lad culture, right? And whilst it may seem like it's just a joke, it's things like this that will limit you from ever reaching your potential in your future. So when I suddenly cut out drinking from my life, not only was I not hanging around in those negative spaces anymore, I had all this free time in my life to do whatever I wanted to do, whether that's focus on calisthenics, whether that's focus on reading, building a business, whatever it is. You've now got 2 whole extra days in your week to do things and to actually live life. Do you honestly think that the way to live life is to work Monday to Friday, get pissed on a Friday, and then you're essentially resetting the button and wasting that weekend away? Your life is Monday to Friday work, stress, this 1 4-hour window of fun, and then you pay the ultimate price by sacrificing 2 whole days on the weekend. To me, that sounds like a shit life, and that's why for me it was easy to make that decision to cut out drinking, as I had a higher purpose. I had something that was more important, which was calisthenics. Which again, I've said, if you do want to cut out on drinking, it's extremely important you replace it with something, whatever your goal is, that has to be more important to you than wasting time going out drinking with people that don't even care about you. And one of the outcomes of going out and enjoying my life more on these weekends where I have all the time in the world is I met new people. These were people that if I didn't turn up every Saturday to the calisthenics park, I would get a message. Hey Sam, where are you? You're normally here every single Saturday at 10 a.m. Primrose Hill. How come you're not here? Is everything okay? These are the friends that you need. You've had accountability throughout your whole life, whether you were at school from your teachers, your driving instructor, your uni teachers, your parents. You've always had accountability. When you're going out drinking and getting pissed all the time, that's the opposite of accountability. That's people who are pushing you downwards, who do not want the best for you. When you cut that out of your life and you put yourself in a better environment, you get accountability from people that genuinely want to see you succeed. Being in those environments, you're going to feel inspired. There will be people that are doing way better than you, that are stronger than you, that are faster, that look better than you. And being around those people is going to light a fire up your ass. They all say you are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The best thing that happened to me since quitting drinking is that I replaced the environment that I was in with an environment and with people that were more conducive to the life that I want to live. People that love me for who I am, but also hold me accountable. When I'm not showing up to training, they let me know. When I'm doing my sessions and I'm not putting in 100% effort, they hold me accountable. And they also inspire me and tell me that I can do so much more in life than just going out and wasting my time. Now, I hope this video kind of struck a nerve with you. And what I'm not telling you to do is to go out there and just cut out all of your friends. That's not what I'm telling you to do. All I'm telling you to do is be more selective with the people you spend time with. Look at how many times you're going out drinking. Do you need to be going out 4 days a week? Probably not. If you're going out Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, cut out going out Tuesday. Cut out going out on a Saturday. Limit it to 2 days a week. Already by doing this, you're going to have so much more time, so much more energy. Your progress is going to be less impacted. And as a result, you're going to be building that momentum. You'll be building that discipline. You'll be forging this new identity of yours. And as you forge this new identity of yours, it's going to become so much easier to quit cold turkey. Look, if it means cutting out people that you thought were friends that you've known for a long time, but ultimately don't want the best for it, who cares? Do you think you'll care 40 years from now when you're living your dream life? No, you're not going to care because you'll be living your life. That past life will be so behind you that you'll be so thankful that you cut those people out of your life. So, to wrap up, if you want to seriously quit drinking or cut out drinking, it's really important that you find this higher purpose. For me, it was calisthenics that becomes more important than pressing reset every single weekend. And realize that as a result of you cutting down on the drinking or cutting it out completely, you are going to have so much more free time, forge your new identity. And what will happen is you will stop hanging out with people that do not want the best for you. And you're going to start hanging around with people that are going to be lifelong friends, people that will hold you accountable, people that will push you, and people that will inspire you. I personally cannot think of a better way to live your life than to be surrounded by the people that love you and care for you the most. Not people that do not want to see you win and are only friends with you because misery loves company. Anyway, I hope this video inspired you because I, for one, can tell you from the bottom of my heart that cutting out drinking was the best decision that I've ever made in my life.